The Real Estate Hour, the longest-running real estate talk show in the North Bay, heard every Sunday morning right here on KSRO. The Norman Home Team, a mother-daughter real estate team with Keller Williams Realty Wine Country. And now, here are Allison and Stephanie.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Doing a little bit of a late Valentine's Day theme.
Late happy Valentine's.
Happy
Hope you
Valentine's Day.
enjoyed your day with whomever it is that you love.
Or whatever you love. Whoever and whatever.
your dog. Your dog.
For you, it was the dog, right?
Well,
Cat.
yeah, the dogs and cat. In our
Oh,
case,
the cat. Yeah, that's right.
and yeah, the cat. In
Yeah,
our case,
right.
yes, the cat. We spent all of our Valentine's Day money on our and more
On our, yes.
on our cat this weekend. Gosh, and every time we've had a couple of incidents with pets where it's a huge thing. It's fixable, but it's really expensive. And this cat that we have, anyway, good morning, everyone. But it's just a real estate hour. But we're going to talk about our cat for a minute. But anyway, so he eats everything that he shouldn't, and he had some kind of obstruction. And so, it's very expensive. They had to do surgery, cut him open, figure out what's going on.
Well,
And-
since you said he ate something, there's a lot of people out there with cats. What was it that he ate that he shouldn't?
Well, he actually, they didn't find anything, but they found evidence that he had something, and it actually had damaged part of his intestine from being in there. I guess he passed it, or Anyways, but he's infamous for
Too
eating,
much information.
He eats I know he eats hair ties, he eats rubber bands, he eats any kind of string,
ribbon,
the pull string on your tightening your sweatshirt hood, those strings,
Or your
shoelaces.
sweats.
Yeah, he's just a crazy boy.
He's a menace to society,
and
but
we love him. And what do you do? And it really kind of made us think about the fact that there's things that, what if you don't have the money? And there are people that, and I asked the vet, I said, what do people do? And she said, it's a real problem that, and there are some organizations out there. The Sonoma Humane Society has a community clinic where they do, if it's an emergency situation. However, we left a message and didn't hear back because they're, I know, very busy with what happened in Lake County with the North Bay animal,
horrible.
this horrific over 100 dogs that were supposedly being cared for under the county and being paid to take care of, and they weren't. And so Lake County Animal Care, I think, some has taken over. That has taken over, but a lot of our local shelters have taken on some of these dogs that are just in a really poor condition. So anyway, it wasn't that we weren't surprised that they didn't get back to us. But then on their website, there actually are a lot of other links for organizations that help if you're in an emergency situation with a dog or cat or any animal that needs surgery. It needs a life-saving treatment.
Yeah, the only thing with that is it's hard getting a hold of them during that emergency situation.
Yeah, so it really kind of alerted us to this, realization of a real problem that, what do you do? And there are people that, don't have the money, and thankfully we were able to have the money to do it.
We have 3 cats, and they've been very good to us.
Oh, good. Knock on wood. And I know there's insurance, and it's like, we should have had pet insurance, but I don't.
Definitely getting that now.
Getting
Gonna
some
look
pet
around
insurance.
for pet insurance.
So that's how we spent our weekend. There is pet insurance. You have to have the vet sign off that they don't have a pre-existing condition, and
other than the fact that he eats everything. I don't know if
All of
that
that.
counts as a pre-existing.
Does that count as pre-existing?
I don't know if now it's like, well, he's had surgery to, Anyway, so and then they did a biopsy to make sure nothing else was going on, and so
that was our Valentine's Day.
That's what we did. So I hope you all had a wonderful Valentine's Day, and I know for some people it's a very depressing day. But you just got to make the best of your situation and love yourself. If you don't have anyone, we all have something that we can
it's just
enjoy
so.
about. commercialized.
Yeah, so commercialized. The flowers, the just everything. It's so unnecessary.
Yeah. Yeah. We should just do it every day.
I know, should be every day. Just tell the person you love every day and
Every
show them
day.
you love them whenever. It doesn't have
Right,
to be
when
a certain day.
when you feel like it, not when
Yeah.
the world
more
says, "Oh, you
special.
have to tell them today
Yeah, it's
by
like so
buying
much
them."
Sounds like
more.
Christmas.
I know, it's all so
It really
commercialized.
is. Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about real estate today, and
Yes,
since
real
we're on the real estate hour.
estate.
So we are going to. We always every year we like to talk about the buyer love letter on or around Valentine's Day because it's a fitting topic. There is a lot of. I mean, it used to be absolutely you got to write a letter. You're competing with other buyers. The seller wants to know why you're special and why you love their house. And then the attorneys got involved and said, this is a little bit dangerous because if that person that's writing the buyer love letter is in any kind of protected class and their offer isn't accepted, and they could go back and say, well, they didn't pick us. We clearly had a better offer, but they didn't like us because of whatever. It can be for the seller. It's a big liability, according to our attorneys. They actually, we're going to get further into talking about it. I guess.
Yes.
So stay tuned because we're going to talk about why and some things you can do
Yes.
about that. So what else are we talking about today?
We're going to be talking about staging tips, getting your home ready for the market. And along with that, we're also going to have, of course, market updates and and our home buying event that we're having at the end, towards the end of the month.
Right, all that stuff. And then I have a little bit of information about insurance,
Yes.
just kind of some tips from the California Association of Realtors on things that you can do to help lower your insurance or to make sure that you can get insurance and different things if you can't get insurance by your regular insurance company. So we're not going to get too deep into that because it's a huge, full show topic, but maybe we'll cover that at a later date in full detail. Or if you have questions, we can absolutely have a conversation with you on the phone, or you could always email nodumbquestion@gmail.com. And we love answering your questions off the air as well. So, we're going to talk about that. And then
one more thing with the weather, it's raining. You want to make sure you check out your gutters, the drains, with the water's puddling up somewhere, and there's a stream of water rushing down somewhere.
Yes, look and see where the water's going. And I know it's not raining very hard. I think we're supposed to get some pretty good rain today. But, see where the water's going.
And especially, like, if you're looking into selling your house, you want to check that out and make sure that gets fixed. Or even if, would it be, I don't know if it's too late if you're in escrow.
No. I mean, if you're, so here's the thing. You fill out, when you're selling, you're going to fill out your disclosures and all of that. There are some pretty specific water-related questions. Are you, the seller, aware of the following? And is there pooling water anywhere? Is there any place where water it does any damage, or stuff like that? I forget exactly what they are, but there's some pretty specific water-related questions on both the seller property questionnaire and the transfer disclosure statement. Those are both seller disclosures that you fill out.
As a seller, if you know that, you definitely
so
want to
you've
disclose
filled out
it.
the paperwork, and then you're in escrow, and it starts pouring down rain, and you notice the roof leak, or you notice that the gutter is overflowing, or you notice that there's a flood in the backyard, or maybe you're on a slab foundation and some water came into your garage or came into your house. That's a new material fact, so you're going to want to talk about that.
Yeah, definitely.
And then also, as a buyer, absolutely go out there, say, hey, can we go take a look and see what the house looks like in the rain? Because when we wrote the offer, it hasn't rained in weeks, so we want to really know what it looks like when it rains. You absolutely can go out there. It depends. Actually, I shouldn't say absolutely. It depends because in the purchase contract, there is a thing. There is a checkbox and an amount of days that you can say that you want to have access to the property. And a lot of times it's till the end of the escrows, and more typically, I think it's written into the contract the like 17 days, which is the default for doing all your inspections.
That's right.
So pay attention to that when you're writing an offer. If you think you're going to want access to the property later, write that into your contract, and say, and even if it doesn't, you could say, hey, can we come out and take a look?
Yeah, well,
if it's not in the contract, the buyer.
Especially if you know that it's going to start raining soon.
Yeah.
You're going to want to be able to have access to the property to just check it out and make sure there's no flooding or leaks.
Yeah. So and if you're in escrow and you're the seller and you notice something new, you're required to disclose that and let them know. Oops, we didn't know about that. Anyway, we do need to take a quick break, but so that's what we're going to talk about. A little bit about insurance, defensible space. We're going to talk about staging your home and kind of the difference between staging and designing to live there, right? So Stephanie's got some good information on that. We're going to talk about the market. We're going to talk about our home buyer strategies, workshop that's coming up. And I think that'll take us through the show. I had a little bit about, we've got some new lists. Oh, and love letters. We're going to talk, thank you, which is the theme of the show. We're going to talk about love letters when we get back. So I'm Allison Norman.
I'm Stephanie Norman.
We are the Norman Home Team, and we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to the Real Estate Hour. We'll be right back.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back.
We're back. We forgot to mention that, in our whole conversation about the cat and all of that, we, along with bringing a cat home that's had major surgery, is getting up in the middle of the night and giving them medicine. So
more like middle of the early morning.
Early morning. So if we're a little off today,
that's our excuse.
That's our excuse today. Yeah. It's been an interesting few days.
It's hard keeping a cat calm and not
he's
jumping around on climbing on things.
Right.
When
he's in a
that's
crate.
what they're
He's
used to.
not a fan of the crate.
Yeah.
But as most cats would not be.
Yeah.
Anyway, so moving on. We are let's dive into the topic of the day, which, because of Valentine's Day, we always like to talk about the buyer love letter. It's something you should be thinking about all year round, but it's a good time to touch on it when it is Valentine's Day.
It is, yes.
And even though it just passed us by, we're still in Valentine's Day mode here over the weekend.
I know.
That's
some
okay.
people are probably still celebrating.
I know, some,
still on their weekend trip for Valentine's Day.
Right, and you can celebrate your love all year round. But as far as buying a home, so there's something called a buyer love letter, and really it's a letter to the buyer when you're especially in a competitive situation where you're writing offers and there's multiple offers, right? Mm-hmm. So you're gonna a lot of times a seller wants to know who, especially if they have it's a family home or it's something where their kids grew up and now they're moving and they're a little sad about moving and they want to know who's going to be moving into their house. And our attorneys all say, be very careful with that. You should be looking at the structure of the offer. You should be looking at, does this offer work for you? Not who is this person writing the offer. We're all human and we're all thinking that way a little bit, and it's just a fine line, and you really need to be careful that you're not putting yourself in a situation where somebody can come and sue you because they wrote the better offer, you didn't pick them. I will say to that, though, it's your house, it's your transaction, it's your right to accept any offer you want, and it isn't always the better offer. It might be something with the terms makes more sense to you. Maybe they're giving you a rent back. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're offering to close really fast, and you need to close fast because you're in escrow on another property or something. There's a lot of reasons why the highest offer isn't the best offer.
Definitely. Yeah.
But just be careful with that. If there was that you didn't take it because you didn't like these people, why didn't you like them? And be careful that it doesn't fit under the rules of the fair housing, and get yourself in trouble for discriminating against somebody and picking a different offer because you didn't like who they were. And again, that being said, homeowner, your property, your right to sell to whoever you want to sell to, but just be careful with that. So,
Definitely.
And we talk to sellers a lot about that. Ultimately it's your decision which offer you take. We have some agents, or inexperienced agents, often they'll call, will you accept this offer? Will you accept, less, like it's a less? And they're asking the agent, I'm like, I don't know. It's not my offer to accept.
Yeah.
It's not. I will put it in front of my client, and maybe they'll accept that offer. And sometimes, other agents will, you put maybe a low offer in as a buyer's agent, and they're all, oh, well, my client's not going to accept that. It's like, well, did you ask them? They're actually required to present the offer, and there's actually a place on the purchase contract that's the buyer or the buyer's agent has to say, yes, we presented this offer to the seller.
Yeah.
Sorry, and then there's a place saying that we're rejecting it for the buyer to initial. The seller to initial. So, that came from a lot of back in the market where they just say, oh yeah, we presented all the offers, and then it turned out they didn't actually present your offer. So, it's not the agent's decision.
Yeah.
It's the seller's decision. It's the buyer's decision what they want to write the offer for. We're here to advise you, and that's it. Sorry, did you have something?
Oh, I was just going to say, as agents, we are required to present all offers, and that's basically what you said. So,
Oh, sorry.
no, it's okay.
I'll set it for you. Anyway, so that all of that being said, the buyer love letter, it actually can be a really good thing, but it is Stephanie just pointed out, Serious Fair Housing Act, under the Federal Fair Housing Act. So it is, it's dangerous.
Yes.
So be careful. So all of that being said, why would you want to write a buyer love letter and ways to structure? So there are safe ways to structure a buyer love letter, and you're going to be telling them not so much about who you are. And, we used to see all the, picture of here's me with my dog and my family and all of this pictures, and that's all great. But again, you're flirting with that, the chance that you could be the seller could be discriminating against you. So be careful with that. But it's good to write a letter. So you're going to write what you love about the neighborhood. You're going to write what you loved about the house, all the what they maybe go with their ego and tell them all of the amazing updates they've done to the house and all the hard work. And I can tell that you really loved this house and enjoyed raising your children here, and we look forward to doing that too, or something. But now you're talking about your kids, and that again could be a little bit of a fair housing thing. So just be careful, and we try and keep it more about the real estate and the property and not about you, the buyer. So here's my offer. Here's what's great about my offer. Here's why you should pick my offer. Here's why we love your house and we really want to live here.
Yeah.
So keep it on that note more rather than here's who we are, or this is what we do, we're amazing. And
it's you just want to stick to the facts about the offer, price, terms, closing date, rather than personal information. And there's actually state laws where they don't allow love letters.
Yeah, and there's
restrictions on them.
There's in a California purchase agreement, the listing agreement, they added maybe 5 or 6 years ago, maybe less than that, I don't know. They added a little checkbox, and it's a little paragraph that says, our attorneys recommend that you don't write or that you don't look at any letters that come in from a buyer. And that there's 2 boxes. It's if you don't check this, you're saying you don't want to receive buyer letters. So it actually defaults to we don't want to see buyer letters. But there is a box you can check and say, yes, I'd love to see the buyer letters. And that's okay if you care about who is going to buy your house. We're all human. We all have the right, really, to, I don't know if it's the right, but we have, it's our house, So just be careful with that, but you do have the opportunity to say, yes, I would love to see love letters. And actually, or just buyer letters. We don't typically call it a love letter when it's a part of a purchase contract.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's good. I think, I could absolutely see situations, and have been in situations where they wrote a letter and the seller went, oh, wow, I really like this offer, but I also really like these people, and especially if the offers are even, and they're not, one isn't better than the other, and then now they fall back on, well, who are these people that are writing the offer? And again, our attorneys say you shouldn't care about that. You should be picking the best offer, not the best person that you want to live in the house. The funny thing with I said some people it matters, who's going to live there, and some people it doesn't. Investors, they don't really care. You know,
Yeah.
they want to make sure that you can get the loan, you're well qualified, and you're going to close. Who's the agent presenting the offer, all of that. But and the bank-owned properties, they don't care either, you know. And we'd get these love letters, you know, buyer letters when back in the REO days and foreclosure days of people presenting offers, and then they're like, here's who we are, here's, you know, all of this, and we'd love to buy your house. I'm like, I'm presenting this to a bank. They don't care who you are, you know. Write us a good offer.
Yeah.
So really the strength should be in your offer, not in who you are writing the offer. But we're all human. We all have emotions, and a lot of times the sellers want to see that, and a buyer letter can help so it's, you know,
Yeah, definitely.
it's hard because the attorneys, and it makes sense. There's the fair housing laws, and you don't want to get sued. And part of our job as your realtor is to make sure you don't get sued, you know. So by making sure that you're aware of all the rules and the regulations and the laws and all of that. So anyway,
Yeah, and
buyer
I'd
letter.
say a big part of that is just kind of detaching yourself from the home.
Yeah.
I know it's hard. And then
It
that
is.
would go along with when you're staging.
Yeah,
So
and we're
we
going to
can-
talk about that when we come back. We'll go. That'll a great segue for staging because you are depersonalizing
Yes,
you're removing yourself,
detaching
detaching
from the
things.
house.
Anyway, that's yeah. The one other thing I'll mention about the love letters is, you know, as a seller, you can also write a love letter to the buyers. Well, here's what we love about this house. Here's what we've enjoyed over the years about this house. Here's all the things we've done, really, but why we've really enjoyed this house, and we think you will too, you know. So you can write a little letter to the sellers too, you know,
Yeah.
especially in a market where maybe things are moving a little
A
slower
letter
on
to
the
the
seller
buyers.
side. I'm sorry, a letter to the buyers. As a seller, it's a good idea. Here's what
Yeah.
we've loved about the house. Here's all the things we've done to it, and here's why we're a little bit sad about moving, and we hope you enjoy it. So anyway, you can do that too. But we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll segue right into staging and removing yourself.
Yes,
whatever you
remove
said.
yourself from the home.
Yeah, okay, so we'll be right back. I'm Allison Norman.
I'm Stephanie Norman.
We are the Norman Home Team, and you're listening to the Real Estate Hour. We'll be right back. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope if you
And it,
went out
President's
and
Day,
had
was
fun.
Is today
It is President's Day. Was it Lincoln's birthday on Friday? And then President's Day is Monday. So you get an extra weekend, which is kind of cool if you went somewhere for Valentine's Day.
Right, yeah.
Went and had a little getaway, and you have an extra day. If not, you just have an extra day anyway. Or some of us do, right? Do you, Joe? I don't either, but
Yeah, not everybody
we're
does.
We're working tomorrow. I think the county recorder's office is closed. The escrow offices, I believe, are closed. The bank. So if you were trying to close an escrow, you've got that extra little day in there that you're going to have to wait. Okay, so should we segue right into staging, get that out of the way, and then we do have a couple other listings that we wanted to talk about. We have the home buyer strategies workshop we want to talk about, and we have something else that I wanted to talk. Oh, insurance. I was going to try, and the market. We're going to talk about the market, but first, let's talk about staging.
So before we left for the break, we talked about detaching yourself from your home. You're selling it. You have to just let go.
Right. No, be concerned about who's buying your home.
Yes.
But also,
You also want to, so while you're doing that, if you're still living in your home, you want to depersonalize it. Remove all and any personal items, photos, collections, like all your collectible items. You want to take those out, put them in a box. Paperwork, like if it's pretty much any paperwork, but like mail, personal mail.
yeah, personal, even like calendars. Like, here's where
Yes,
kids are going to be
that
this
was
day
my
and that
next
day.
one, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Calendars with all of your appointments. That's a big one. You want to put that away. And another big thing that a lot of sellers don't realize is you can put stuff in the garage. That's fine. While you are still living in your home and you need to use that garage space to put stuff away in boxes, that is completely fine.
Yeah, usually that's the spot where all the overflow goes, and
Yeah.
and most buyers expect it and they're aware of it, unless you are trying to showcase your amazing garage.
Yeah.
But,
Definitely. And photos, if you have like photos on the walls, refrigerator.
like personal photos,
personal photos.
All
or
the
like
things.
maybe you have an expensive painting,
Mm-hmm.
just anything really. Just depersonalize
Yeah,
it.
the big collectible, like collections. You know, a lot of
Yeah.
people have like, you know, a bookshelf full of just collectible stuff. You know,
Trophies,
you're
awards, put
you're
that away.
showing off the house,
Yes.
not all of your personal items. So,
Yeah.
and you don't want people to get distracted by that and
Exactly,
be like, oh,
yep.
that was such a cool collection they had of this, and that artwork was amazing. And then they're like, but wait, was there a third bedroom? I don't remember where the third bedroom was because they were
Yeah.
busy looking at all your stuff. So,
And so then another big one is declutter. You want to do the bare minimum, or you want to have the bare minimum. So you want to like get rid of any big items. Like if you have like one huge sofa, you probably want to take that out, and you can always have the realtors put in something smaller,
yeah.
or just get something smaller in the meantime, or just leave it out in general.
Yeah, if you have a smaller space, especially, and you have just that oversized furniture, and you know, sometimes it's just taking out a couple of the big chairs and just leaving the sofa, you know,
Yeah.
or and what we're trying to do as your realtors is present the space. You're selling the space. You're selling the living space. You're selling the neighborhood, the experience, the outdoor spaces, the story of your home, really, and you want there to be a nice flow. Like, so if you have a view out to the backyard, and when you walk in the front, you want to move some of that furniture so that the people, the buyer or whoever's coming in to look, their eye goes to that backyard. You know, you don't want them to see like the big oversized couch that you have there. It works great for you, but for selling it, it's different. So there's a difference,
and you
right?
also don't necessarily need to have a couch in there. You can take that out.
Yeah. Take it out. Get the big couch out of there.
And then you want to minimize your lamps. If you have a bunch of lamps everywhere, just minimize it down too. You still want to keep it bright and light in the room, but you don't want to have a bunch of, like a whole clutter of lamps all around the room.
Yeah, if they're not
Because that's
necessary
just
for lighting.
distracting to the buyer's eyes. And then if you have bookshelves and they're just full of books and knickknacks, you want to kind of pack some of that stuff away. It's okay to leave like a little bit, like maybe have a couple books on the shelf, that's fine, but putting all the other stuff away so it's just not so distracting and cluttered.
And you know, we talk a lot with our clients about kind of pre-packing. You know, you're going to pack anyway.
Yeah.
You're moving, right? You put your house on the market because you're moving. You're going to pack anyway. So start packing.
Yes.
If you don't need it, excuse me, if you don't need it, put it away. Pack it in a box, put it out in the garage, put it in a closet, you know. If you have storage or a pod or something, put it in there. Start packing, and you can do that while you're decluttering.
Yeah, and then also while you're decluttering, you want to deep clean. You want to clean the kitchen counters, cabinets, walls, floors, the bathrooms, the bedrooms, vacuum, mop floors, get rid of... This is a big one, the strong odors in the house. Maybe you have cats or dogs, and they've messed up the carpet, and then just
and you've
smells...
become nose blind to it.
Yes.
So have a friend come over and say, hey, does
exactly.
it smell in here?
Yeah, because that's a big one. Or smoke, that's another big one.
Smoke.
Cigarette smoke.
We've had people, both of those things, where the house had a real strong either smoke, cigarette smell, or cat odor, pet odors in general, and agents will come in or buyers are coming and they'll just be all nope, and they're immediately turned off by the house. They don't even want to see it.
Yeah.
So we had a situation like that last year, and we ended up having they had to replace the subfloor in some areas because the cats over the years, many years, had been doing their thing right there, and and it was a really strong odor you could not get rid of. Once we did that, it helped a lot in the household.
Yeah.
So you know,
It's a big one. Yeah, so you want to just deep clean all that, and make sure someone comes and smells your house for you. If you have pets, or if you're a smoker,
and on the note of smoking, there is a new law that went into effect and they added to the disclosures now about cigarette, like on the walls, the smoke, whatever that it leaves, the residue that it leaves, and there's actually a question in the disclosures about that if there is, or maybe you painted over it, or a lot of times people will just paint over it,
Mm-hmm.
and then somebody moves in and they go, whoa, how come it smells like cigarettes? It didn't smell like that before, and then they realize that they just tried to mask it with, and so you're actually not allowed to do that, and you have to disclose if you have. So
And
sorry.
so the idea of staging is not decorating your house. It's depersonalizing it. You want your home to be inviting and not distracting, which is part of removing yourself from the home.
Right. This is not going to be your home anymore.
Yes, detach yourself.
Yeah, it's important, and it's
Yeah.
hard because it's your home, and you have a personal, you've loved you've lived there and loved it for a long time, and you're selling it though. You're moving. There's a reason why you're selling your house, so you're going to have to detach yourself from it eventually. So it's a good idea to just detach yourself from it now. Don't lose complete interest in making it look good, because buyers do notice a well-loved and well-lived-in home. But there's difference between well-loved and well-lived in and cluttered and dirty and overlived in and not cared for. So be careful with that too.
Yeah. And
What
then
else?
there's so you just want buyers to be able to focus on the rooms and picture what they could do with the room and what it could look like, where to put the bed, the sofa, the dining table.
Yeah, what is
Saw
that? There was
that
a
in the-
statistic like 80% of, statistically, 80% of the population of consumers can't visualize a house that's vacant, where things go. That's a really big number, but it was,
that would go with vacant staging. But
for vacant. I'm sorry. Yeah, you were talking about
this is when
staging when you live there. I'm sorry, I transitioned
Jumping
over
ahead.
to trade. Well, because we have a lot of stuff we want to
Yes,
talk about,
we
but
do.
I think that's really
Yeah.
important, and it's the hardest thing is staging your home to sell it when you're still living there.
Yeah.
If you've moved out, let your realtors go to town.
Yeah.
On doing what they know and what we know is best for selling your home, not for living in your home.
And
so.
then a lot of times getting your house ready is painting the walls, maybe just a neutral color, changing out the light switches, maybe you need to put in some new carpet, just like little things that aren't too expensive, or
Yeah.
just change those out so that they're not so distracting.
Right. Yeah, and cleaning the baseboards and cleaning I
Yes,
think you mentioned like kitchen counters and
Mm-hmm.
because people if they see things that haven't been taken care of, they immediately start looking for other things that haven't been taken care of, and it's like, well, are the bigger things that should have been taken care of being, if they can't even clean their or patch up dings in their wall, are they not doing the big stuff either? Are they not, taking care of their furnace? Are they not, cleaning their gutters? Are they not, all these things, they start looking for things. So keep that in mind. It's
Yeah.
important. Presentation is
Definitely.
a lot.
And so when we don't have a lot of time to talk about staging a vacant home, but
Maybe we'll do that on our next show.
yeah, we could.
You want to do that? We'll talk about that because we have a lot of other stuff. I want to
Yes.
say, though, a shout out to Stephanie, who's actually always been my kind of design, even before you were
even
part of
before
the
I had
Norman
my
Home team.
license, yeah.
Was part of, I'd be all, come and help me stage this, or help me, to figure out how to advise the seller on what to do with their stuff. She's got a great eye for that, and she's that's a big part of what she does on our team. And she just took a course and was certified in staging and design. So that's kind of cool. So she's got a lot more to say about staging, and we do
talk about it
offer.
for hours.
Sometimes you're gonna pay the whole, pay a stager to come do it. We have some
Yeah.
great recommendations. Sometimes, depending on the house, the situation, and what you want to do, and what we've negotiated, we're going to stage it for you. And other times, we'll just help you move some furniture around, move some pictures, take some artwork down. We have artwork we can add, and help you get your house ready to sell. But the biggest part is you need to let go. And you need to say, okay, I know you know what you're doing. I know I'm not going to be living here anymore. So here, do your thing. And Stephanie's very good at that. So anyway, just wanted to say and shout out to Steph because she
Thank you.
completed a course and is certified in staging and design, which she already was good at. Anyway, so it's nice to be able to say I have a certification now, even though I was already good at it. Okay, so before we I don't know if we're ready for a break. Yeah, we wanted to. Okay, let me do before we take a break real quick. Our home buyer strategies workshop coming up on February 24th. It's a Tuesday evening. We had our workshop on the 10th for 1031 exchange and avoiding capital gains and all of that. It was a rainy day. We had quite a few cancellations, but we had a nice group, had a really good conversation, really very comfortable and I don't know, intimate setting of just having a really good conversation about what that is. So, that's kind of what our workshops are, is it's not a super formal thing. It's, come talk about what some strategies are as a home buyer, right?
Open conversation, ask questions.
Yeah, so we're going to have Amanda Hagar with Task Mortgage. She was on the radio show a few months ago. She's going to be talking about kind of, home buyer strategies, whether it's first-time buyer or you're trying to figure out how to navigate that, sell your house, buy your house, or maybe you haven't owned a house in a while. And here's a thing. Most first-time buyer programs, first-time buyer means you haven't owned a home in 3 years. So something to think about. So anyway, we're kind of got it titled as Begin with a Plan, because we're not expecting you to sign up to buy a house today. Or the day on the 24th. We're really just going to help set you on that path and answer any questions you have. So that's, you can go to our website, normanhometeamwinecountry.com, and there is our workshop calendar on there. You can sign up for it there. There's a link. So,
and it's just want to mention, it's a no pressure, no obligation to work with us or sign up. And yes, it's free.
And we're going to feed you.
Yes, and we will feed you.
So it's in the evening on February 24th. That's a Tuesday evening, 6 to 7:30ish. I think we were there till about 8 o'clock last time because people had questions. And Russell Marsan had lots of answers. So we had a really nice conversations, kind of almost one-on-one with the small group that we had. And it was really nice. So we hope you can make it to our Home Buyer Strategies Workshop. Again, Tuesday, February 24th. Go to our website, normanhometeamwinecountry.com, and you can find all the information about that. Let's take a quick break. We come back. Let's talk about the numbers and the numbers. And we've got a little bit about insurance. We're going to try and fit all this in. I'm Allison Norman.
I'm Stephanie Norman.
We are the Norman Home Team, and you're listening to The Real Estate Hour. We'll be right back. Good morning.
Good morning.
We are back. Happy Valentine's Day weekend, and happy President's Day weekend.
Yes.
And
all the things.
We're going to run quickly through the numbers and want to remind you that these are always posted on our Facebook page, The Real Estate Hour with Allison and Stephanie Norman. Go to Facebook, and it's a page, not a group. You can find that, and all of the numbers will be there. And if you're like me, I like to look at them, and so with me, but I know like Stephanie is also, you like to hear. You're better at your auditory learning. I'm whatever that is, visual. I'm a visual learner and a kinetic, touchy-feely person. Anyway, so let's hurry through those. Okay, so here's what's currently active on the market. In Sonoma County, this is all of Sonoma County. We've got single-family homes, 505 active listings. Interesting about this is I forgot to uncheck coming soon. For when I first did it, and it was 527. So that tells us that there's 22 listings that are in the works, getting ready to come on the market, and there's others because we don't all put them on coming soon. But the market is picking up. So 505, about the same as last week. There's 252 in escrow. That's a little bit more than last week, which is good. The median price for what's active on the market is $1.2 million. The median price for what's in escrow is $859,000. That just means that some lower priced homes came on the market, and there's some higher priced homes sitting there active on the market that haven't sold yet, which is very normal in what we've been seeing. Condos, there's 109 active condos, 45 in escrow. That condo number is up quite a bit. Mobile homes, in a park, we have 79 active with 23 in escrow. Multi-units, we have 77, and that's 2 to 4 units. 77 active and 25 in escrow. And then land, buildable residential land, we have 262. That number is just coming down more and more, which is good because there was way too much land on the market.
Definitely.
With 33 in escrow. And you can see that land doesn't sell very fast. That difference between 262 and 33 is very normal.
Yeah, definitely.
And it just shows you that land just doesn't sell very fast. And speaking of land, we do have a land listing, and we'll talk about it more next week, but it's coming on the market today. It is 0.23 acres. It's a hillside parcel. Tall and skinny, and or narrow, and it's listed at $100,000. It's a bank-owned property, foreclosure, and it's sold just like any other listing. And we have that coming on the market for $100,000 in Marin, San Rafael.
It's just land.
It's just land, bare land, ready to build on.
Okay, so then I have market update from last Sunday to today. It's for
Single family homes from last.
So for new listings, we have 87, back on market 9, price production 22, pending 46, closed 52, and then in escrow 66. I did that a little backwards.
That's okay.
And then that is with average median list price of $925,000, average median sold price of $770,000 with 57 average days on the market.
Alrighty, so that's a look at just this last week. So those numbers are very different because it's just what happened this last week. So we like you to keep an eye on both of those things. And then just remember, your neighborhood, your property, or the place you're looking is going to be very different than our broad look at Sonoma County. Just like the national numbers are way off if you're trying to base Sonoma County numbers on what you hear on the news for national or even state or even Bay Area. They're all very different. So we can fine tune those down to very specific for your property or your area that you're looking to buy in. And we're happy to do that for you. Just reach out to us. You can find us at normanhometeam@gmail.com, nodumbquestion@gmail.com. And like I said, our Facebook, normanhometeamwinecountry.com.
We're also on YouTube.
We're Sonoma County Real Estate Hour on YouTube. And are you writing this all down?
And we're on KSRO, Ask the Expert.
Yeah, our podcast is there. And then also the Facebook page we mentioned, the Real Estate Hour with Allison and Stephanie Norman. I don't know how much time we have left, but I want to, okay, good. I want to talk about, real quick, I want to just remind everyone, our property, our listing at 2003 Humboldt Street. It's right on the corner of Silva and Humboldt. It's a really cute property. The owner is a gardener, and she does an amazing. I mean, she's not by trade, but she's an amazing gardener, and it's a beautiful lot, front and back. It is built in 1948. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath main home, and then there's a garage conversion that's separated by a covered breezeway. And so, and there's this really cute backyard, newer deck. It's just a beautiful property. It's got the original hardwood floor, big open living room. And there's another bathroom in that garage conversion, and a second little kitchen and a studio, kind of a studio feel. So it's a great opportunity. It's listed at $735 and active on the market right now. We're getting a lot of showings right now. The buyers are starting to come out.
Someone doesn't buy it soon, I will.
I know, it's super cute. I think there's two things. There's an easy pathway to really, if you want to expand that and make it like a master suite where the garage conversion is, or an ADU. Right now it's a guest suite, but really a permitted ADU with the county or the city. There is a very easy pathway through the amnesty program we talked about a few weeks ago. But anyway, it's a really cute property, and I encourage you to go take a look or give us a call, and we'll get you in there to see it. We're not having any open houses right now. We may in the future, but if it doesn't go in escrow. But anyway, take a look at that. 2003 Humboldt Street, really, really well cared for. Anything that comes up, she fixes it. The roof is inspected every year, and anything fixed that needs to be fixed. It's just really cared for, really well cared for. And updated systems as well, furnace or wall heaters that are there, and then water heaters been updated, bathrooms been updated. Excuse me. Okay, so real quick before we run out of time, I do want to talk a little bit about insurance and really just defensible space. There was a there's a and I'm going to post this on the Facebook page to the Real Estate Hour with Allison and Stephanie Norman, because I don't want to breeze through it and not to get all the information. So check that out on Facebook, or just text us and say, hey, will you send me that information, because I didn't have time to write it all down. But some things that you can do to lower your insurance, or to make sure that you can get insurance: harden your home against wildfire. And so there's a lot of really good information at the CAL FIRE website. And that is fire.ca.gov/D space, or just fire.ca.gov, and it'll tell you all you need to know about fire safety and all of that, including home hardening, defensible space, all of that. So hardening your home against wildfire can actually really help with your insurance, and a lot of insurance companies require it. A lot of government ordinances require that you do all these things. Improve your home's fire protection class status, and you can do that. You can do that through FireWise USA programs. Modernize your roof and home systems. Insurers reward homes with reduced risk of leaks or system failures. That also includes there's a water flood control thing that a lot of insurers are requiring when they purchase a house, that it has this flood control thing that you have to put on your water meter, or you put it, I forget where it is, but it goes somewhere. And they're saying you have to have that. And then invest in security and loss prevention systems. Increase your home's resilience through targeted upgrades and add-ons. Follow a maintenance schedule with your HVAC, your fixing plumbing leaks, maintaining, keeping all of that, addressing peeling paint, broken fencing. All of those things can affect your insurability of your home. And then take advantage of policy-related discounts, often overlooked by consumers. You ask your insurance company, are there any discounts that we're overlooking. And then also, if you've been denied, there's always a California Fair Plan. It is a little more expensive. You can have that, and then a wraparound other lower insurance plan. But it's really important to have all of this. We're going to talk about this more in future shows. There is new zero in the defensible space. There is the 0 to 5 foot between your house and 5 feet out. They're really going to start cracking down on that 5 foot from your house and out, to make sure that there isn't any fire danger right there. So stay tuned for more about that. We'll have a lot more about fire as we kind of head into that season.
Do we have a link for that we can post?
Yeah, we'll post all of that. So, but you can go to fire.ca.gov /D space for dispensable. But we gotta go. So yeah, find us all the places we said. You can go to the Real Estate Hour with Allison and Stephanie Norman. I'm Allison Norman.
I'm Stephanie Norman.
We are the Norman Home Team.
Have a great day.
You've been listening to the Real Estate Hour with Allison and Stephanie Norman, the Norman Home Team on KSRO. Join them every Sunday morning at 9, covering every stage of a real estate transaction. Sonoma County real estate market knowledge from real estate professionals born and raised in the North Bay. You can reach Allison and Stephanie anytime. Call or text 707-799-3617. The Real Estate Hour with Allison Norman and Stephanie Norman. Sunday mornings at 9 on KSRO and KSRO.com.